It's not in the cards for you. I'm pretty good at insults, and I got the internet and a lot of free time.
Let's just face facts here, Gen Z. You're in college, I'm in college. You should invite me to your parties. I don't know why you won't. I mean, the thing of the videos where I'm angry, a lot of times that's just out of good humor, trying to be an angry comic. But a lot of it just seems like you're political and you don't want to invite me in because, like Isaac said, he thinks that I'm going to steal all the women. I literally need one. I see you guys out there like multiple chick to a dude talking about, as a group, how like socialist you are in a manner of speaking. But your greediness, Gen Z, your you-tooing arguments, that's not going to help me any. I mean, if we're all the same kind of swath here and we're all equal, if you don't invite me to your parties, I'm going to have to go to the bar scene to try to find someone. If you stand in my way, that's your problem. Ableism, age phobia, and classism. See, the guys online that diss me are right-wing. And that doesn't make any sense to me why Gen Z would be like, oh yeah, we're in Spokane and left-wing, but we don't like you, kind of thing. Because liberals are forgivers. Liberals are forgetters when it comes to things. You're like, oh, one transgression 5 years ago, or one transgression last week. I know how I am. I grew up in Western Washington. I've lived in Washington State my whole life. The downtown area is very open-minded and I guess you could say clean-spirited. We know how we are politically. It's Democrats and liberals on the left wing. We're forgivers, we're kind, we're compassionate, we care about the needs of others. So I'm trying to figure out what my option is here, guys, because I don't really see it. It's like, oh, self-reliance, but that's what the conservatives would want, and you're not a conservative generation. Nobody is conservative when they're young, when they're a young adult. You want to cart around your 7 girlfriends, or your 7 girlfriends this week, but talk about greed. Gee, I wish I was Gen Z. Then I could have my little oh wait argument after carting around my 3 chicks to the mall. Right then, you're probably talking to me, aren't you, honeys? But right then, we're not in a situation where I just grab it all. I don't want to grab it all. Stop being greedy. I just want to go to your house and meet one woman. Is it better now that I'm no longer homeless? It should be, because now I guess I can't make the classism argument because we're the same economic class. Yeah, I might have been talking about the same things for 5 years, but what are you doing to help me? What are you doing? Passing the buck? Doesn't fly with me. Your lies don't fly. Just sitting here at Fiesta Chara 2. Fiesta Chara, if you can breath that out. This is definitely my favorite Mexican restaurant in town. You say different things about different Mexican restaurants, but I like this one because it's out of the way. It's out on the kind of Sunset Highway. And I come here every once in a while. Sometimes I get fed up with sushi and pizza and steak, so I come and get Mexican food or Thai bamboo. This whole thing with tip will cost me less than $20. It's just a good Mexican restaurant. They got bomb chalupas. You know, they got great burritos. They got a huge menu. I've had their seafood. I can't say enough about it. If you're ever like want to go on a date or something, take your honey here. I mean, come to it's by Motel 6 where I used to come and chill a lot before I lost my ID. So this is like one of my secret, not so secret now, haunts. I always said that I would never reveal where this was because it was so good. But usually when I come here, it's about 11:30 in the morning. It's 11:47, so I got here about 11:30. They're quick, and I've been eating a while. Come here, I'll listen to music, my headphones. Friendly staff, you know, they. I'm hardly here at busy times, but on the weekends, I imagine it gets pretty poppin'. Just like a lot of Mexican restaurants do in town. Adelanto's gets really banging on Friday nights. You mostly find the Spanish community and like old cowboys kind of come into places like this on the Fridays and Saturdays. Great date idea, I think. Of course, you know, they're meeting a lot of distingo, the generation gappers or whatever. I don't have an ID right now, but I will get one just so I can go to a bar and try my luck there. This is a chalupa. I remember the first time I got this, he said, you can't pick it up and eat it with your hands. Because look at the size of this thing. It's definitely a fork kind of meal. A lot of people, you know, when you're kids, you don't eat the rice and beans, but as you grow up, you really appreciate the rice and beans. The rice and beans are good. I've never had a bad meal here, ever. See, I've been watching these videos on game mechanisms. You like how I did that? It's like Mr. Rogers pulling off his fucking shoes. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching these videos on gaming design because, you know, it's real funny. If you want a book on game design, it seems to be hard to find on Amazon for some reason. But there are books out there on it. Of course, there's a book on everything out there. The problem is, well, there's traffic for one. Nah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, there's this troll that writes me sometimes named Evan McMillan. I don't know this cat. I've never met this cat. He offered me $50 to say I don't know what luck mitigation is. These trolls will come up to you on the internet and they'll say you don't know anything about anything. It doesn't matter what it is. You can say that blue is whatever in terms of a color, and they'll tell you that you're wrong. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. They'll say, you know, you're wrong no matter what you say. You gotta ignore your haters. Just say no dice and move along, because the way they approach is rude. It's like, I want your dick pic, I want your advice. Well, maybe if I asked for your advice, I'd take it. I'm not trying to be a narcissist. What I'm saying is it's rude to come up and offer your advice when I didn't ask. Nobody asked you. Maybe you should be less arrogant. Doesn't that just prove the generational effect of empathy going down within this species each successive generation? How rude people can be these days? Millennials are ruder than Gen X, and Gen Z tend to be ruder than millennials because of telomere attrition. And my theory is that it has to do with the older dads giving their kids longer telomeres on the ends of the chromosome, and younger dads, as per those studies, giving them shorter chromosomes, like teenage through 25 shorter chromosomes. And I've read some abstracts enough to convince me. I don't care if somebody comes up to me and says, I'll give you $50 to explain that you're a liar and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. They sound like that, too. When you meet them in public, they sound like dweeby assholes. Like, I don't even know what to do about that. Like, you'll stream past me and call me retarded when you're retarded kind of thing. Like, you're a dumb fuck. When obviously
you all always talk like that, kind of voice, or you're violent or mean-spirited. Nobody wants that. It's like it's like somebody coming over and saying, you know, you didn't mow your lawn correctly. Okay, Mr. Short from 8th grade, did I ask you for your advice, Republican? He was a teacher that I had. Always trying to give advice and always making fun of his students. Everybody hated this guy, except for the dweeby assholes like the Republican kids. You know, if I wanted your fucking advice, I'd ask for it. Move along, simpleton. You're simps anyways. You're using credit cards to impress women. That's technically simping. If you're not impressed by a guy because he doesn't have the money to have a credit card, you have no business asking me these questions. It's none of your fucking concern. And you know damn well why I don't. You're just going over and over and over and over again. Maybe you should shut your fucking mouth. So us bad boys with golden hearts can get some success in this world instead of your little simp asshole with your MasterCard talking out your fucking rectum. Yeah, I really just said that, motherfucker. But he wants me to do this video where I don't know what mitigation means. Mitigation means you cut down upon something. It's basically saying there's not even basically, it is. It's saying that there's something like you roll the dice and you move on the board and you can roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 12 spaces by rolling 2 dice if you're rolling d6s. But mitigation would be something to the effect of maybe your dice has a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1 on it in the corners, and you decide how you're going to move based on that dice that gives you, or well, technically speaking, those dice, because die is singular and dice is plural. Mitigation in board gaming is where you're cutting down on something like, I'm trying to think of other ideas of what mitigation would be. It would be like if you're building I'm looking at a building now, so you're mitigating the amount of concrete you might use by using some other material as a mortar, perhaps like hempcrete. So you're mitigating your concrete by making hempcrete, by changing the parameters, by making it a cheaper source. So that's my geek knowledge. Mitigation is simply cutting down on something so it's not random number generation. Nobody likes too much luck in a board game. You got to have a nice equal balance between luck and skill for it to be fun. You got to have that randomness so you don't know what the hell's going to happen. But you also got to have that choice that makes it interesting, and it feels like it's actually a game instead of being at a damn casino just rolling dice to see what happens. Mitigation is easy to explain.
Here's another way to think of luck mitigation in board games. Let's say you roll dice and you're satisfied with it. You take cards based on that, and the dice have 4 choices each corner. So there's technically 24 choices. You could choose any one on any corner. You mitigated it that way. It's just not pure circumstantial. It's probabilistic. You have the card. You draw the card based on that. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Of course, you would want more. I don't know what I'm talking about on that end, but like maybe you just take the 4th card, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. But you feel that that's not mitigation of luck, even though you get 6 choices per card. Maybe that card directs you on some sort of path. So you roll a dice that says, you get up to the middle here, you're on some sort of point past the perimeter, and you could take all these choices. The card dictates that you can do a forward motion, a backwards motion, a left motion, or right motion, or just like 1, 2, or 3 of those things. So, or 6 in this case. You have 6 different choices based on what you have. So let's say you're on that middle hexagon there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're connected to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexagons, as hexagons tend to be. that it's a broken path, but if you go down that path, you might actually get some sort of benefit from going down that broken path because it's more dangerous. But if you fuck up, you have to mitigate that somehow too. So what luck mitigation is, Evan, in board games, is you're taking your luck, which is just circumstance, and you're throwing it into probabilities. You're going, a lot of people would say, beyond chance. It's not just chance, it's chances. It would be like going to the soiree. You're invited somehow by your friends, and they're all driving BMWs for some reason, and you go, and you're just driving a Yugo, but there are all these hot chicks there. If you knew something about them, like maybe the fact that they're all communists with a lot of money, you often see bourgeoisie liberals all the time, the option might be limited to you because you don't have enough money to impress hypocrites. Well, maybe you would negotiate that, mitigate that probability into more probabilities. If you have one probability, it's a circumstance, but if you have multiple probabilities, you have different analysis. You have more of a field of thought. So another way to think about it would be, okay, so we're coming to a parking lot, and the parking lot has nothing but BMWs. Maybe this way gives you some sort of chance because you're really good at parkour or skateboarding or something. So you're mitigating the fact that all your buddies have BMWs and you're at a party with a bunch of hot chicks there, but you don't have the money to be there, but they all like you, so they want to talk to you, so they're your buddies. And the reason they invited you is even though you don't have a lot of cash, you can really just smash on that skateboard to impress the women. And that's another example of mitigation by navigating circumstance into sort of a bay of more probabilities based on what you got. Okay, so let's say these rocks are dice. You could roll the dice, and they're going to land on some side that's got something on it. Maybe this is a D12, D20, D6. And based on that, you move around a rondelle, like Monopoly or something, and it's just basically a game of pure luck, where whatever the dice says goes, and that's what you get. You might get a card based on that specific number. Mitigation would be if each dice had in the points like 1, 2, 3, this looks like a triangle, and this had maybe 2 points, like a 1 and a 2, and this one had 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 on that specific side. Each side had a choice on it. That in and of itself is mitigation for like a roll move type of game like Monopoly or Life, where you basically a spin move or a draw move game like Sorry, like these crappy children's games. They weren't really board games as much as they were casino games for children, because it was just based on luck of the draw. It was basically like a slot machine or a simplified version of poker, all these games, in a strange sort of way, because whatever the dice says goes. It's like a hand of cards without any kind of hand management. So it's not complex like poker where it takes a semblance of skill. It's just a matter of whatever you roll, that's what you get. And you would mitigate that by cutting down on that. Mitigating like a glass of milk, because maybe you have a certain tolerance for lactose, by adding a little water to it, or getting a thinner like skim milk because you liked milk but you needed to mitigate the amount of lactose in it by having a thinner milk because you still like to enjoy cereal. That's an example of mitigation. Draw move, where you draw a card and it just dictates what you do. A way to mitigate games like Sorry is simple enough for a game designer to think about, because what you're doing is you might draw a card and it would have 6 different directions that you can go, or 6 different things that you could collect, and you choose what you put down on the board or pick up from the board. Maybe you put down ore and that gets you wood, would be a way. Luck mitigation you have a time limit on you picking up a tile from the board out of a group tableau of like 30 different hexagons within the framework of a big hexagon. So by mitigating luck, you can create more options. You can look at this street, it's an easy enough thing to explain, Evan. The fact of the matter is that you could have a card of this street scene that might have different things. You can take the crosswalk, you can run across diagonally, maybe for more points. But if you get hit by some other form of gameplay mechanism, you're going to lose life. Or if you get hit, it could be a good thing because you get money from your insurance policy or something like that. However you want to look at it, mitigation is basically just adding choice to a random numeral generation.
Take that easy to push the ladder.
This looks very good. Which means I might have to get out of a bit of a detail.
Hello, who are you? Really? What? No. You're kidding, really? Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, amazing.
Hey!
We got a message from our mate. The staff was taken over here.
They
They got back with some amazing news. It went an ounce a ton.
An ounce a ton. 30 grams per ton. Are you serious?
True.
Well, an ounce a ton, that's $2,300 for every ton. And that loader bucket, that'll hold 2.5 tons.
Isn't it?
That could be on 100 ounces even. Well, it takes my eyes. You're serious, aren't you? We could be sitting on $500,000 we don't even know.
Oh, this is game changing, and that's not overstating, believe me.
Over 2,000 kilometres east, in Victoria's Golden Triangle, Brent and Ethan are facing an uphill grind this season.
Whose idea was it to find 100 ounces, mate?
It is absolutely achievable because the try new spots and we'll come across something, I'm confident. But it doesn't make it any easier with no money rolling in.
With no permits to dig their new leases, they're heading high into Victoria's mountain ranges in a desperate search for bush gold.
It's a pretty gnarly old track.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gnarly old track, that's for certain.
With much of the crown land in the area heavily worked by detectorists,
I don't think many people get up here.
Brent and Ethan are hoping this hard-to-reach mountaintop, over half a kilometre above sea level, won't have been picked over.
I'm going to have a look up on that hill up there.
All right, mate. Good luck. We need to find something. We're desperate. We want to definitely try out the box stuff to see if we can pick up something. And there's quite a few of these little reef workers right along the shore here, which indicate the old blokes have been here. But because we're so remote, not many people may have been here, but this gives us our best shot at finding something.
Brent's hoping his modern metal detector technology will pick up gold mixed by the old timers.
We've obviously done enough work here to suggest we've got something.
We've got nice reef structure coming up. It's got all the signs we're looking for.
Large quartz outcrops can be a geological indicator of gold.
It's a lot more hard work, a lot more time consuming. You got rocks in the way, you got everything else.
And mountaintops are more weathered, which can leave gold more exposed and easier to find.
It's kind of remarkable that you all this. That's physically is to be smashing all this quartz out of here because it had obviously varying amounts of gold in it. I'm actually quite shocked. There has not been one detector hole across any of this here, and I've just found one target here, one target there, go on here. This area, I know it's very remote, hard to get to, but I still can't believe in central Victoria that there are still places you can find where no one's actually been. Oh, you. Have a look at that. Woo! Go there. Oh, you ripper. Is it specie? Is it a gold specie?
A specimen or specimen gold is gold encased in hard rock and is often highly prized by collectors.
So these old blokes have been ripping out this reef line here, and they're throwing this specie out.
The piece could fetch up to $350.
So I'm pretty pumped that we might get some more gold here.
The morning of August 6th, I looked over the big screen TV and I saw breaking news, 30 Navy SEALs killed in a helicopter crash.
Looked over and saw my wife through the front door. As soon as I turned and saw that baby child, I knew he was dead.
She was the heart and soul of our family.
My dad was always the person to go help other people. He loved being a Navy SEAL.
He was good to all of us. He was kind, he was caring. Chris was very proud to serve our country. He was very proud of the men and the women with whom he worked and he served. Chris's last request was, if he was killed in combat, that Chris wanted 100,000 people to donate to help wounded warriors.
You can help Chris's final wish come true with a gift of $19 a month. Wounded Warrior Project provides free, life-changing programs and services to injured veterans, their caregivers, and family members.
He wanted to help out, and ever since he's passed away, I've been trying to reach that goal. Since the Wounded Warrior Project has been helping, I feel like I can help out the next person.
We need 2,000 new dollars this month to help honor Chris's dream. Please call or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket in memory of Chris, and as a reminder of your commitment to wounded service members all across our nation.
Through these donations, Chris's legacy of helping others will live on.
Please call or go online at honorchris.org with your gift right now.
Selling a home is expensive and stressful, so we set out to create a better home selling experience with a network of the most successful real estate agents in America. They'll sell your home for as little as a 2% commission.
The icing on the cake with the ideal agent was that we save $12,000 in commission. We would definitely use ideal agent. Yeah, the whole process was so positive for us.
Excellent, excellent. So, getting right to the point, hiring an ideal agent, I wish we would have done that sooner. And we would have saved 6 months of time and mortgage payments that would have probably never happened if we would have just gone with them first.
They were so stress-free, the whole process was amazing, and I would definitely recommend them.
We certainly recommend ideally out to all of our family, all of our friends. It's just a great experience.
We are not a discount brokers. These are top local agents that will get you the best results.
Grand Canyon University, a Christian university, is one of the fastest growing universities in the country. Located in Phoenix, Arizona, GCU offers 270 dynamic academic programs. In 2020, campus students received over $157 million in scholarships, and many attend for less than the cost of a state university. Scholarships are still available. Get your offer now at gcu.edu/myoffer. Have you or a loved one been severely burned or has a family member died as a result of a fire, contact with electrical power lines, an explosion, or defective product caused by another's negligence? You may be entitled to compensation. Each year, thousands of people suffer severe burn injuries or death caused by the negligence of others while at work, home, in auto accidents, or other activities. These painful burn injuries are difficult and costly to treat and typically require long-term or lifetime therapy and care. Dangerous products, electric and gas companies, and other unsafe businesses may be found to be liable for these injuries. If you or a loved one has been severely burned or a family member has died as a result of a fire, contact with electrical power lines, an explosion, or defective products caused by another's negligence, you may be entitled to compensation. How do you protect your rights and get the compensation you deserve? Call the legal team that has successfully handled some of the nation's most significant burn injury cases. Call now.
What is it? Is it feeling to be connected to other people? Is it feeling accomplishment that you did something you've never done before?
Is it the elation of being drenched in sweat after a workout? Echelon isn't just a company that makes connected bikes, that lowers workout screens and treadmills. They're a movement company. I'm Mario Lopez, and I'm moving on Echelon's connected fitness equipment.
Get your 30-day risk-free offer at echelonfit.com/TV.
Here's what's coming up next on Quest. 30 kilometers southeast of Kalgoorlie, the Dust Devils are gearing up to process their first few loads of mine waste through their wet plant.
Find that there's a lot of trap coal comes from the waste from the ball mill.
Their goal is to process 150 of the 400-ton total this week.
It's always a bit of a gamble. Australia's hoping that we've got some good stuff here.
They're hungry to fund a hard rock mining operation at Meekatharra.
Please, everyone seems to be the better ones and more cake.
Yeah, I reckon a lot more material in there.
You're scaring the hell out of me, man. Everything that I do good, I try to do good, and